Ray Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuits, and this is a looks like it's a Greenbrier International Incorporated, made in China robot that I want to turn into something. My boys had this from some gift somebody gave them. It was like part of a pack, and there was a couple of them, and I wanted to make this into some kind of hunter bot of some sort for my campaign. They aren't going to play with it. They've had it for years sitting in a box. They said I could take it. And there were more of them that they don't use. So maybe I'll have some more of these in the future to play with, because I'd like to make a couple of these, but they didn't feel like digging. So basically I have a piece of 2x2 game board here that's just some pop-out piece from one of the D&D games or something. What I want to do is I want to mount this to it on this base. But first let me make this base a little more interesting. And to do that, I'm just going to, oh, my fingers are cold. It's cold in here today. It's super cold. I'm just going to pop some pieces of cardstock on here, shove those down. Try to make this a little more interesting, so it's just not a boring piece of cardboard or game board or whatever. Well, I guess it is cardboard. Oh, knocking shit down already. Just got in here and got my gun heated up and came back in. My fingers got cold. I had some tobacco prior to starting. So what I want to do is I want to get them an interesting posture. When you walk, and when I see robots walk, they have this extra pronounced thing where their front leg, their arm is back, and their back leg, their arm is up, as if they're trying to balance themselves, like, or they're trying to mimic human movement. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get some glue, stick it there, a lot of glue. I'm going to get them in position. Like that, comically almost. And then we're going to let that cool for a moment. This gun, fitting in the hand, has a trigger there, and that irks me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into some kind of shoulder-mounted gun. So to do that, we have to take this trigger off. So I'm just going to get some snippers here. Just like that. And get that trigger out of there. And then it's going to mount to his shoulder somehow. Probably going to cut this off too. And mount it something like that. Or maybe make a piece that comes off his back. I don't know yet. So we don't want him to be a moving, useful action figure. So I think the smart plan is to get some super glue. Pop it into these joints. Just like that. All the joints that could move, get it all in there, just like that. Anything that looks like it moves, get glue in it. Okay. And it's okay if you get some overspill. It won't hurt anything. I got plenty of overspill. So I'm just going to kind of set him in here and sprinkle some baking soda onto all those joints and solidify those so they don't move anymore. Just like this. Get it in all the joints best I can. Okay. Something like that. Everything's looking pretty sturdy for the most part. I got a couple touch-up spots I'm going to hit, and some spots where I didn't get any baking soda. And I'm just going to sturdy him up. Okay. Nothing seems to be moving anymore. And that's going to do its job. Set that off to the side. Before we do any more modifications, let's make an easy handle for him. So I'm just going to get some glue, shove him down on there, and let that cool for a minute. Put my super glue lid on so that doesn't create any problems. So I don't know if I like the head. I might take the head off. There's some kind of something that hooked to his back. I don't know what that might have been or where that might be. So we're going to ignore that. And I think I don't like the head. I think the head is kind of ugly. I'm going to try to snip it off without creating too much drama. Let's see if I can do it with these. Can't get them in there. I don't know if these are big enough. Whoa. Try to get in there a little deeper. We're getting there. Okay. Now, if you have an emery board or something, where you can file that down, or any kind of small file, that'd be good. Not bad at all. Now we want to make sure that paint's going to stick to this, or anything else we want to glue to it. So I'm just going to use this torch lighter to kind of burn the surface a little bit. Heat gun would work if you have one. Mine's MIA. Has been for a couple years at this point, since before the move. I think my brother had it, or my son, or somebody had it, and now it's gone forever. So glue should stick to them pretty good. Do we want the hands to be open like that? I don't think it'll hurt anything. So we want our hunter bot to have that gun. And now I'm starting to think that I shouldn't have cut that nub off. That the gun could have been on his center where his head is, and that would have been nice. So let's get a bead and remount that gun. Let me find a smaller bead that'll do a good job at this. Okay, I'm just going to get a dab of glue right where the head was, like that. I'm going to mount this red bead right there where the head was, like that. Make sure it's good and centered. Squirt a little bit in that hole. Let that fall down in there and fill that up. Then I'm going to get this glue, hot glue is there, and I'm going to put that gun head there. I'm going to get a little bit of super glue and permanent home that. I'm just going to let this run down the side into any cracks it might fill. Just like that. And I'm going to let some run down the bead too, so I get a good bond. Blowing that off. Something like that. Okay. Now there's some distinguishing marks on here that might indicate that this is a toy to some certain set or something. I don't really want any of that there, so I'm going to do what I can to hide some of that. But what I really want to do is I want to make a lot of weird things on this that make him look a little cooler than he is. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some flesh out kind of pieces to make him look a little less perfect and rounded. So on that front there, I'm going to take two pieces like this. I'm just holding them up so I can get it cut the same length. I'm going to mount these to the front of his boots, or his shins, just like that. There we go. And that's going to make him look less like the figure he was designed to be right off the bat. But you can see that. So all I'm doing is just changing him up a little bit to make him a little more interesting. And maybe we'll do that on the forearms with a couple pieces of cardstock. So all I'm doing is I'm going to curve those a tiny bit, just so I make sure I get a good fit. Super glue, shielding, just like that. Same thing on this side. I'm going to curve that a little bit to make sure it gets a good bond. Not super glue, I'm sorry, hot glue. Okay. I'm going to put that there, like that. Make those a little bit more interesting. Okay, and he has that on his chest piece. I think we can leave that and it doesn't look too bad. His crotch piece is okay. Let's add some studs. I'm just using those little gem beads I always use. You can get toys like this at the Dollar Tree or anywhere and make pretty serious modifications to them without really a whole lot of effort. It's just kind of fun. It's a little cathartic because you see how much a little bit of change does to it immediately. It's kind of neat. Okay. I don't know if I like this gun situation on the head there. I kind of wanted that to be flat, but he needed a gun, so I don't know what to do. Oh well, it'll be okay. There'll be other opportunities to make other robots other days. And there's no rule that says we have to make them all the same. So some of the interesting things maybe about this particular type of hunter bot is any energy attacks. It has a 30-point damage shield, so if they're using an energy weapon of some sort, or an electric baton, or anything that has like a discharge of some sort that's energy related, maybe that's even counting like fire or explosions, whatever it may be, this guy, he probably ignores some of that damage. So let's take a wild guess that he ignores maybe the first 30 damage he takes. Okay. Get that kind of centered. If you're wondering how I freestyle center this stuff like that, what I do is I kind of go to the top and the bottom first, and then I do the middle. That's my secret for centering studs and stuff. So Sweeney can't make fun of me. I'm trying really hard not to lose one of my studs in the super glue because homeboy is merciless. I think I know why I don't like this. My kids watch these weird, like, creepypasta things on the internet. And one of them's called Siren Head. And this vaguely reminds me of that, and I hate that. That's so dumb. Yes, an ancient enemy of the world, a supernatural power with a siren for a head. Go sit in the effing corner. SCP used to be cool. I think it's from SCP. Right in the damn glue. There you go, Sween. Feel free to call it out. Oh, dude, you gotta be kidding me. There we go. You know, you might not believe this, you younger people, but Reddit didn't used to just be a trolling site. Artists and authors and musicians and many people used to come together there to share their work and to talk. And the original SCP stuff was just about, I don't even know who started it, but it was just a group of people telling interesting stories about monsters, and then it turned into this dumb shit that it is now. I just want to get some more rivets on him to pimp him, to make him look a little more interesting. Pimp my bot. Oh, come on, I can save it. I can save it. There we go. Salvation. Can I get one of these guys out? No. They live there now. Something like that. And we can add a couple more rivets on here to make them cooler, I suppose. It'd be kind of nice to have a skull on here, but I think that's overkill. Government's usually not putting a skull on assassin robots they send after people who know too much in the future. Or are they? I've not actually been there personally, so I could be way off on that. Come on, you bastard. There we go. That's acting like it doesn't have any glue on it. Oh, flip, flip. There we go. Okay. I don't see any spots that really would benefit from more of that kind of thing. I did lose a couple of my little gem beads flying around. I don't know how many I lost. At least 3. Up. 2. Come on. 3. All right, let's clean up my toys. All right. Let's hit him with the air gun. I got a little bit of soup or hot glue down here on the base. I'm just going to burn it. Just going to burn it. Just going to see if I can add some weird textures by burning him a little bit in some spots. Because I want him to look a little roughed up. Let me find a piece of metal to shove on him. I'm just going to use this hook piece here. Let's see if I can't push in his leg a little bit and make a dent. That's harder than I thought. Probably should have done it before I there we go. Probably should have done it before I painted him or glued him all up. If you don't have a good fan going like I do to ventilate, this is not something you should be doing. Just a heads up. Okay, now one last little step. We need some wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of wire here, if I can find the end of it. There apparently is no end of it. All right, time out. Change of plan. I have another wire here somewhere. We'll use that one. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Where's that wire? I can't find that either. Son of a damn it. I had wire all over the place. Now I have no wire. Let me find something here. sacrificial phone charger for a style of phone I don't have anymore. We're going to peel this off. Just like that. Snap that. Snip those short. See if we can fit that in that hole. Seems like we can. Need to make it a little bigger. Okay. Kind of push that in a little bit. There we go. See if we can fit that in there. Yep, just like that. A little bit of super glue. Spread these two wires out a little bit. Shit. Tweezers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Lost it. Can I get it back? Nope. Alright, no problem. We'll do it again. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oops. Lost it. There we go. We'll twist these out a little better this time first. We'll implement the tweezer move beforehand. There we go. Push that in the best we can. I want to, there we go. That's what I wanted. A little bit of super glue. Let's get a little bit more. Okay. We're going to cut one real thin piece. Let me get scissors. Of this business. We're going to shove that in there too, hopefully. There we go. Just like that. Oh, no, I want you to stay in there. Just like that. Get a little baking soda on that. And that's going to give it some kind of battle damage, maybe. That's my thought. Like, let's let that tiny bit more of that. Okay, cool. I'm just going to take a couple of this chunks of extra crap and glue it to the base to give it some interest. Boop, boop, like that. One piece of wire, just to make the base a little more exciting. Boo doo 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 doo. Blow torch that a little bit. Get rid of these spider webs. Give it some shape. Okay. Let's spray paint them. Let me get my paint in the other room. Get my paint sleeve. My paint sleeve is just a pair of sweatpants somebody grew out of. I think I overpainted them a little bit. That's okay. He's definitely been overpainted a little bit. That's all right, though. All right. Let's see if we can do something fun with it then. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. What do you do when you're bored? Start fires. Okay. Give him one more shot to dry off. We're going to get a little piece of tape. Okay. That's just so I don't have to get any of that paint that's up to the top on me while I'm doing this next step. All right, so what I want to do is I want to get some black paint. I'm going to use Dollar Tree black paint. And I'm going to get a piece of cardboard, maybe. Maybe. Let me get a kind of a softer brush. It's still a little bit wet from painting yesterday. I'm going to come in here and try to turn everything a congruous kind of black. And I hope that it's not perfect. I mean, if it's perfect, that's not going to hurt anything. But I'm not going for any kind of perfection. This paint didn't bond to this the way I wanted. So my thought is that I can get a little bit of different textures and feel like this. Just so that my dry brush stays, I need a little bit of wet, where I want it to get in the cracks. And hopefully the spots where the paint did bond on this cheapy plastic will create a good base coat. I don't think it's going to. I think the mistakes were made. Heavy mistakes were made. All right, cool. New plan. We're going to dry this off the best we can. We're going to hit it with a semi-gloss clear coat and then try again, see how it looks. Sometimes I don't do things perfect, sometimes I do. Okay. The semi-gloss clear coat should create a congruous layer all over him that stuff will stick to. I'm hoping. Probably using a black primer would have been better, but I don't have a black primer handy. I just have flat black paint. Nothing's coming off on my thumb. So there's some spots that are suspicious to me that they're not, you know, not good. Oh, there we go. Okay, okay. We can dig that. That's going to do the job. That is what we needed. Okay, we're getting just enough to cover the red that I didn't get in my first clear coat, and the paint is sticking. So we cannot complain at this point that it is not working out well. It's close enough for government work. Let's get that red covered up the best we can. Okay. If there's a little bit of red, like I said, it's not going to be a problem. We just don't want to, you know, a large amount of it. So we'll hit this again with a hot air gun. Sweet. All right. Big soft brush, any kind of makeup brush. I'm looking for one that's dry. Oh, they're on this table. Hold on, I gotta climb over garbage. It's not garbage. It's crafting resources. But when I get discouraged, it starts to feel like garbage. Okay, he's pretty good. He's pretty dry. Got a brush here, big old makeup brush. I'm gonna get a silver color paint. I keep forgetting to go buy silver. There we go. We're gonna get in here and steal this. There we go. Just like that. And we're gonna give them a light coat. Of this silver. Trying to get down the cracks a little bit, but not trying to cover everything. It's going to be like a half-ass clear coat. Or not clear coat, a half-ass dry brush with whole-ass results. Now he's looking very metallic and dismal. Get rid of that brush, get a smaller brush. I'm going to add a little bit of light gray to this. For my light gray, using, oh, that's the wrong color. I'm using this granite gray. I just need one little drop of granite gray here. That's goo. Okay, that granite gray shot. It's frozen or something. Do I have another light gray handy?
Hello there, my fuzzy little man peach.
This is granite gray. Okay, a little bit of that. Softer brush. A little dab of that silver now. Out of that lid. A little dab of that gray. There we go. Something like this. Mix it congruently or evenly, whatever you want to call it. Get a lot of that off there. Nice. Okay. Now I'm going to be hitting up some of the spots that are higher up and make those more noticeable. I'll be hitting his armor plates with that. just lightly. I'm not really painting them real well. I'm just giving them like a wet brush, kind of. Not wet brush, but not a dry brush either. Just a brush in the middle. Okay, hitting some of this black I missed in spots on his feet and crap. Something like that. Okay, I'm pretty pleased. Let's get a lighter silver. Do I have a brighter silver? I have that shining silver. Here we go. Shining sterling or shining silver. Let's get a little bit of that. Oh, that shit is blang. It's bling, bling, bling. Let's do it. New cardboard. Super noticeable. I love it. I don't know how well you can see it on camera though, because different shades of the same metallic don't usually do great. Pretty pleased. He looks menacing and dark. His head looks stupid. Let's get that base handled. I'm just going to get a dark brown. I'm going to mix it in. Some water in here. I'm going to try to do the base without hitting him. Just going to give it some variation and dab it around in different spots. You'll see what we're going for. I've done it before. I just want it to look like Rusty Robot World. I'm going to get that gray and mix that in with it and make a lighter color, maybe with that metallic in there too. A little bit of water. And I'm going to dab some of these spots that are higher up and just make some mess on the base. Give it some variation. I want some red in that. I have some red here somewhere. Here is flag red. Let's get a little flag red. A little flag red in that color. Something like that. Dab that in there some. Just give it some different kind of. Okay. Now I got some on his foot, which I didn't want to do. So I'm just going to get a wet brush. And mush that around. And change that up a little bit. See that? No problem. It just shows there's muck on his foot. Alright. A little bit of that black. A little bit of this metallic here. A little bit more water. I could use black metallic watered down, but I have this out already. I'm just going to make some mucky muck there. Just give that some different colors. I'm going to get a little more water on that mucky muck. A little more black. Give me a little mucky muck. Gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't stand hollers and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in, just turn me loose. Suppose you guys are going to want to see this up next to a regular Mini. But we're not quite done. All right, let's get a bright red knee paint. Smallish brush. Size 1. Paint some of that wire. Some of the inside of that battle damage. Just like that. Some of this wire. Some of that battle damage like that. Okay. And then some of this thing here. And inside of that, just like that. Do a little dot in the center of that barrel. All right, so what we want to do is we want to get a watered down, in like the really noticeable burn spots, we want to get a watered down pavement. And just kind of dab it around on those burn spots and let it dry naturally. And then when this whole thing dries, there's some other stuff you might want to do, but that's going to be up to you. Here's another burn spot. We're just going to run that watered down pavement in there. Okay. When that dries, that'll, destroy any shine that had there. Okay. Need more water. You want this to be pretty watered down so that it soaks into the depth of the burns that we made a little better. Like this is all burned up over here. Just kind of water that pavement down and drag it in there. And you could come back later and dry brush this with a lighter gray too, so it'll look more like scoring, but I think that when this dries, it'll do what we want it to for the most part. I think so. Go around this wound. Or battle damage, it's not really a wound. Hit up here where this kind of got burnt. See the gun's fucked up here. We're going to touch around on that part where the super glue was and use that as scoring too. And when this dries, like I said, it'll be a duller, less metallic-y look. Let's hit this with an air gun real quick and see if we can get something shiny on here. Make it look nice. Very nice. Alright, there's a couple things I'd like to do to change this up a little bit. That did not show well, by the way, the pavement. Oh well. A couple things I'd like to do. I'm going to get a tiny brush that I can do some work with. I'm going to get this light gray. I'm going to wipe a lot of that off. Get a little bit of that pavement actually too, so it's more of a medium. Okay, I want to touch these scored areas a little bit better and make them look a little more charred. But I don't want to put a whole lot of time and effort into that because that's not the main focus of this craft. The main focus of this craft is not that this guy's been beat to shit, but the main focus is that even though he takes damage, he keeps going. So I want them to understand that he's got some kind of regenerative shield for sure. I don't think there's too many more spots that are going to need that. There we go. That looks good. He regenerates his shield, so they think he's going to be easy to kill because he's all beat up. But then when they realize he's got a shield, they must be like, okay, he's either repairing himself or whatever. I want to sell that this guy is not going to go down without a fight. I'd like to put something shiny in his chest there. Let's see what I got. Red gem bead kind of deal. Might be good for this. Let's try it. Super glue. Something to stab with. Not a good stabber. Not a good stabber at all. Let's see if that'll fit. Oh, it does. Like a glove. Oh my god. It's so blingity bling bling. Blingity blingy blingy bling. Let's get a little bit more of this brown that I had earlier in a wet brush that I was using for dry brushing. And just kind of dab that around a little bit and change that surface up a little bit more because it ended up being a little too congruent because it was too wet. Didn't have enough variation. Okay. Let's dry him off. I think he's going to be looking like this. This is, I think, the final product on this guy. quite pleased. I think he's mostly dry. Something like that. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, regular mini. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. So he's definitely a size huge, or at the top a large for sure. Scary enough to intimidate your party. Not so overwhelming that it fills up your whole table. And the fact that he can hunt them and track them and has a shield that after so many rounds recharges. Oh, put the wrong thing up on the shelf. Come on, buddy boy. So anyways, I hope you guys liked that. It's a cool little easy thing. It was fun. I spent way too much time pissing with this. Lesson learned. Glue the shit, spray paint it, let it sit for an hour or two in front of a fan. Come back. Hit it again if you have to, if you miss spots. Dry brush it silver. You know, just do it fast. Don't do what I did. I dicked around just playing with it. Don't do that. Just make it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and leave a comment. All the things that help the channel grow, and I would appreciate that greatly if you could do that for me. If you can't, well, go to hell. Or, that's okay too. So, www.dungeonswag.com is apparently down or rerouted. There is an eBay store. You can check us out there if you want minis till further notice, till we figure out what we're going to do about the increase of everything's cost. So, thanks for hanging out with us. We just don't want to overcharge for minis. Please be patient. And in the future, you know, I'll have better answers about that once Tom and I talk. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Don't do drugs. Stay in crafting.